Hi everybody and welcome back to my modeling channel. So today we're going to build an Airbus 320 from Revell on a scale 144. So let's open the box and see what we have. So we're going to start this with the instruction sheet, and as you can see it's pretty straightforward. It's a kind of a black and white booklet. You have the kit description here and all the instructions. So the instructions are on a couple of pages, and then you have the last two pages are there for the decal sheet and the colors, and in this case it's going to be Air Berlin livery, but we'll see later on if I decide to follow this one or do another one. The highlight of the kit is also the decal sheet, and I have to say that those decals from Revell are pretty good quality. They are most of the time some of the best I've been using compared to all the brands who provide you decals for models. Otherwise the aftermarket decal are most of the time the solution. Now let's open the box to see the kit itself. That A320 is a pretty old kit. It's been built, I would say around the mid-90s, maybe early 90s. So it's a pretty old one, and we can see that there are lots of defect on that anyway. So we're going to start with the cockpit window, as you can see, and there is the nav lights, who's going to be on this side. Then the first big sprue is here, and you have the fuselage and the undercarriage. So as you can see on some part over here, there, and on a lot of different places, maybe I will remove this, then you can see all the contrast with all the extra plastics who's around the mold. We have that around the nose, toward the tail as well, so there will be on the nose over here, but you will see there will be a lot of work to do, a lot of extra work to do to remove that extra plastic. I have to say that unfortunately for the second sprue, that kit, I don't know why, but regularly on the A320 you have the options for both engines, but unfortunately on the Air Berlin one you have only the options for those engines. I think those are the SNECMA or the I don't want to tell you any fairy tales, but you have this type of engines, unfortunately, and not the other one. Beside that, we still have the same issue on the kit. As you can see here, there is a lot of plastic, extra plastic left from the mold, and that's going to give us some extra work. There is also some more issues at some other points where we're going to have to do some rescribing as well. And on the A320, I learned recently that those little fairings are only on the A321, not the other model of the A320 family. So we have the wings, as you can see, so the engine and the stabilizer, and once again we have the same issue over here. Now what I experienced on a few of those A320 models, and I will try to get closer to show you a better idea, but here we have a lot. Here you have a lot of defect on the plastic. There will be a lot of trimming, reshaping, and get it at the proper height for those wings. So there will be a little of extra work, and it's the same on those parts as well. As you can see closer to the root as well, there are some extra plastic coming from the mold, but nothing too difficult. As you know me, I've been handling those on the recent models, so nothing I should be unable to correct. So enough of talking, and let's start building. So we're going to start that kit by preparing the parts for the fuselage. So initially I have to remove the extra plastic coming from the mold, and that kit is quite old, so we have a lot of a little issue on that. Then I will take care of the nose wheel well, and then we're gonna fix it to the fuselage, and then we're gonna add some modeling paste that we're gonna put in front of that aircraft, that will allow the aircraft to sit on the nose instead of sitting on its tail. Then we're gonna glue the fuselage together, and for this I use just a regular glue from Revell. After that we're gonna add and glue the windscreen, and then we're gonna let it dry and set for a while. While this is drying, I will fill up all the passenger windows with some glue and let it dry, and then I will fill them up later on. Then we're gonna start preparing those wings, but I have to say that I had several issues on the wings, so there are some extra fairing that I'm removing right now. As you can see, they are the little ones, and then we're gonna add some putty to fill up the gaps and also get a clear surface. So we're gonna work on that, then prepare the wings. The wings are a little bit too thick as well, so I had to remove some extra plastic, as you can see, to try to get really the perfect shape on those wings. But with a little bit of time and patience, you can reach everything. After that, of course, once the wings and the parts are ready and have been prepared, so we're gonna be able to glue them together. So we're now going to fill up all the windows with some white Tamiya putty, and we will continue to do that to fill all the gaps as well on the fuselage and the wings. Once our putty has dry, we're gonna remove the excess as well, and for this I will use a 600 sandpaper to remove all the extra putty, especially on the windows and all over the aircraft. And then we will see there is some gap left, and if there are some more, so we will refill it, and this time I will change color. I will use a gray Tamiya putty to make sure that we really have a clean and a smooth surface. So it's normally the case when you do the windows, the passenger windows. Normally, I have quite a lot of gaps remain after the first layer of putty. So I had to do that. Then we're gonna start working on the engines, and for this I used the regular color I'm using for the corrugat of the wings. And then we're gonna try to after that we're gonna remove the extra plastic coming from the mold. And after this we're gonna paint. Basically I used a paintbrush and a light gray from Tamiya for the intake of the aircraft. Now what I had is I lost one of the winglet on that 320, so I used some plastic card and then I reproduced the shape, and then I rebuilt basically another winglet for that Airbus. So as you can see, it's not very difficult to handle, nothing too hard, just using a bit of plastic cards, some tweezers, scissors, and then you are able to get a proper result. Then of course now we're gonna be able to fix and to glue them on the aircraft. Our next steps is going to be now the assembly of that engines. So for this, well, we just have to prepare the parts. There is quite a lot of extra plastic on this model, on this model particularly. Then we're gonna add the rear part and of course the fan blade. and then we're gonna do that for both engines, and then we're gonna paint the nose cone into a black matte color, and then we will be able to close both of the engine together. And after that I might use some clamps. Sometimes you have to use clamp as well to get the proper shape and to make sure that everything is in correct position. So after this, it's going to be the time to put our wings, glue the wings on the fuselage, and of course I had to add a little bit more glue on the winglets, and then we're going to fill the gaps between the fuselage and the wings with some Tamiya putty once again. So while our putty is drying, now we are going to remove the extra putty on the engines for both of them. And nothing really too difficult. Just take a little bit of time to make sure that everything is done the right way. After that, we are going to remove the extra putty on the wings fairing, or on the junction between the wings and the fuselage. Nothing really too difficult to handle. So the next step now is to use some masking tapes for those engines, as I'm gonna put basically some masking tapes to be able to just paint the engine lips and keep the gray parts and all the details of my engine inside. So for this I use Tamiya adhesive tape, and as you can see it's a little bit of fiddling to make sure that you have all the borders or everything which is set correctly, and then you don't have too much extra part or extra paint coming down and leaking inside the engine. So once this is completed, we're gonna fix our engine on the wings of that A320, and then we're gonna be ready for the paint booth. So what I will do initially is I will use a light gray color to paint the wings and the engine pylons, and of course the stabilizer. The next step is to get ready the gear doors as well, and the undercarriage, as they are using the same, more or less the same color. After that, after putting some masking tape on the wings, we're gonna do the anti-ice. So for the wings anti-ice and the engines anti-ice, and of course we will also add a little bit of this on the stabilizer. I have to say that it's working pretty easily. After that, the easiest part will be to finish to paint the whole fuselage and engines in a clear white color from Tamiya, and of course the paint was very easy to handle, and everything went very smoothly so far. So we are going to use now those brass decal that I've been using for quite a while. I had that board, as you could see on my former videos, for Tango, this one basically, and Air Canada in a special livery with the Raptor, and also Canadian Airlines. So those decals are very easy to handle. I have to say that sometimes the old versions of those decals were sometimes quite thick, and they were not that easy to handle, even with some solution, some decal solution. But now I think this batch was pretty good. After that, I used some extra other decals for the Corregard, as I had those in one of my boards, and then we're gonna finish decaling all the aircraft with the windows, the doors, and all the panel lines that could be required for that aircraft.
So what I did after that was to make a gap, basically, as you can see on the tail, as I had to reproduce the same color, the same purple color, to make sure that I had a correct shape. So it takes a little bit of adjustment, as you know, with colors sometimes, as the decals were also a little bit fragile, so I had a little bit of broken parts, so I could do some touch up, and everything went very smooth. Now I'm preparing the gears, I mean the undercarriage, and painting the wheels. So for this I use the standard matte black for those wheels, and then we're gonna do the gear assembly once the paint is done. I'm also using, for the struts, I'm using a silver color, and that worked pretty well. And for the brake units, I'm using that anthracite metallic color that I've been using for a while. Then we're gonna assemble those undercarriage, I mean those wheels, to the landing gear strut, and then we're gonna add them to the fuselage a little bit later on. It's now time to finish the last touch up on the model. So we're gonna add now our stabilizer, and as you can see, everything fits pretty easily, as there was a little bit of a preparation for that kit. And now we're gonna put the undercarriage, and then we're gonna add a few more antennas and the gear doors. So I have to say that that's the easy part. Sometimes the antenna are a little bit too big, and then we're gonna add the rotating beacon, and this time I was a little bit more careful on not doing too many details, and using some other parts. And then we're gonna paint the engine exhaust, and there are two colors for that. So there is the initial one, and the aft part of those are a little bit darker metallic color. So this is the final result of that Airbus A320 from Tango, which is a subsidiary from Air Canada, scale 144 with Revell. I hope you enjoyed that build with me. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you soon for another build review and another build video. Thank you for watching.